Welcome back, everyone, to the Obedient Kid channel. This is your girl, Brianna. If you are new, I'm Bri, and I make faith-based content. So, I know you already saw it because you clicked on it, but the description today is Testimony Tuesdays. Now, before I get into that, if you are new or if you've been watching and just haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, hit the notification bell for me so that way you are notified every time that we post a video. All right. So now that I got that out the way, let's jump into testimonies. What are testimonies? Why are they important? And what in the world is Testimony Tuesdays, girl? What are we getting ready to do? So let me answer the last question first. Testimony Tuesdays is a new series that we'll be doing where every Tuesday we are going to share a testimony. And yes, I said we. So I'll be giving my testimony, and then your job that I would really love for you to do is to comment your testimony. I don't care how big, how small the testimony is. Share the testimony. It could be the simplest thing as someone gifted you with a hug or something. Share that testimony, because all things, are worth giving God glory for, and all things are really just good to share. It uplifts other people. Excuse me. So, what I wanted to discuss, what is a testimony? We hear it all the time. I've got a testimony. All kind of stuff, right? But what is a testimony? So, in simple terms, a testimony is a personal account or record of God moving in your life and on your behalf. All right, so we know about the gospel, but do we know that our lives and the things that God does for us in our lives attribute to the gospel? His work doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. So when we are sharing the gospel, when we are living it out, when we are, ministering to others and just uplifting others and telling of the goodness of God, which is the good news, we're also living certain things as well and experiencing things where it adds to his gospel. Not adding as in like adding more to it. What it is, it's still showing the goodness of God. It's still showing how grand God is, who God is, that he's an everlasting God, unchanging God, those things. So anytime you have a personal account or a personal record, that's your testimony. And anytime you have a testimony, then you have something worth sharing. Because one thing about a testimony, it is the opportunity to give God all his glory, give him back his glory, give him back his honor. So I'll jump into why should we share our testimony? Why should we tell others about our testimonies? I just said you share your testimony because it gives God back his credit. We're not giving credit or glory to man. We're giving it all to God because he's the one that did it in the beginning. Whether he woke you up this morning, whether you have mobility of your limbs, or if you did receive a unexpected check in the mail or something like that, it's still a testimony because it's still God's hand. It's still God doing a good thing in your life. Okay, so we share it because it uplifts and encourages ourselves, like us, but then it does the same for others who hear the testimony. You could be having a bad day. Remember what God did for you 2 weeks ago. Remember what God did for you 2 years ago. However, it can uplift you. If you're not feeling good, feeling kind of down, when you kind of recall or think about what God did for you in the past, then it helps you to know that he's that same God for the future. The same is for others. You may have someone around you who just doesn't believe or feels like God isn't doing something for them. When you share your testimony, when you share the record of how God has moved in your life, it can give hope for them to know that God can do the same in theirs. It may not look the same, in which it won't, because what was for you is for you, what's for them is for them. But it's still showing and revealing that God is still who he says he is. All right. So one thing I wrote and I wanted to share, which kind of ties up all of that, says, we share our testimonies to give glory and credit to God. He is the one who gives good blessings and deserves all the glory, not man, but God. They also encourage and uplift others who hear our testimonies so that they can trust in Jesus. When we share our testimonies, we are identifying as believers of Jesus Christ. So that's another reason to share your testimony. When the same way how we brag on each other, we brag about certain things, and half of the time, we have no business to brag or boast in ourselves. It's all about God. So when we share our testimony, we're making note. We're saying, hey, to whoever is around us, like, oh, it had nothing to do with me. It's all about God. It's something as simple as, oh my God, you have so pretty hair, or pretty this or pretty that. Glory be to God, because it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with your mama or your daddy or whoever or their genes, because their DNA came from God. God created them. And so it all goes back to God. And I use that example because, yes, something as small as that, we still give glory to God. Something as small as, I don't know, oh, you have really pretty skin. How did you get that? Like stuff like that we all see on a day-to-day and we always compliment. All of it still goes back to God. So when looking up, we have to learn how to study and do certain things there. So when looking up about a testimony means to witness. That's a simple put. All we're doing is witnessing of God's moving hand in our life, of God doing something in our life, of God working in our life, whether it been working something out that we really didn't think would work out, and he did it, a testimony. Like I said earlier, he woke you up this morning, you were breathing his breath, a testimony. Your car crunked this morning when you went out to work or went out to the store or went out to drop your kids off to school, whatever. A testimony. And a lot of times those are things that, we overlook. Let's be honest, we take it for granted, but it does not change the fact that those are testimonies and those are things that are noteworthy of giving God back his glory. And so we do that. So now I want to just kind of tie it all in and explain where Testimony Tuesdays came from. And again, kind of give a little more detail on what Testimony Tuesdays will look like. Honestly, I had a testimony that I kept saying, I'm going to share this testimony. And I did share the testimony. I shared it during Bible study at my church. And then I was like, well, you know what? Other people can be encouraged by this, right? So I'm having this conversation with myself, with God. And Testimony Tuesday came up. Really, it was share your testimony. And I was like, okay, what day would I share it? And obviously, I thought of either Tuesday or Thursday. It wasn't like, rocket science or anything. It was literally just me trying to find a catchy phrase. But I did ask the Lord, like, okay, is this right? So here we have Testimony Tuesdays. And so what we will be doing is, again, notice that I'm saying we, because I would like cooperation just to see how God is moving and to experience that and just kind of celebrate that with you all. Let's all give thanks to God and glorify him. But every Tuesday when we post a testimony, it does not have to be long. It does not have to be, all giving all the details. I just want us to get into the habit of sharing the testimony because there's power in our testimony. And sometimes I think we don't think about that. We don't think that there's power or there's anything that's happening from us telling our testimony. And that's not true. Even the Bible talks about us sharing our testimonies and people overcoming by the sharing of their testimonies. Anytime we have the opportunity to witness of God's hand, then we should tell it. Now, I won't get into all when should I tell my testimony? How should I tell my testimony? That's really between you and God. And that I can't tell you. That's literally, you have to go before him and you have to see how he wants you to tell the testimony, where, when, all that good stuff. If he gives you, instructions, you follow that. Again, we are on the Obedient Kid channel. So learning to be obedient, learning to not be ashamed of the gospel, learning to not be ashamed of being believers on Jesus Christ. And like I said before, telling our testimony is us identifying as that. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get in that habit. So just like I said, be on the lookout. Every Tuesday we will be doing Testimony Tuesday. You can catch me here on the Obedient Kid channel, where I will upload them. And even if you miss it, say you aren't able to post it on a Tuesday, we'll take hearing that testimony on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so forth and so on. All I want us to do is to really like embrace and make it a lifestyle of always talking about the goodness of Jesus Christ. Sometimes we can get in our emotions and we can feel like we don't have nothing good to talk about, but I have experienced firsthand, you can come in feeling one way and begin to share your testimony, begin to reflect back on all that God has done for you. And then next thing you know, you feel better. Like, it just works. And it's just God. Like, there's no formula, there's no secret portion or whatever. It literally is, you talk about the goodness of God and your insides, like your spirit really feels better. So I said what I had to say. If there's any, questions, please leave them in the comment box. But just let me know, how did God move in your life today? Or how did God move in your life this week? Again, it does not have to, you don't have to wait until Tuesday to post it. But just know you come here for the Obedient Kid channel and we will have a testimony on Tuesdays. That's all that I have for you. Again, you don't have to just stop with me and telling the testimony or with the page. Share it with others. It's all about giving God glory. We want to give him back his glory. And that is just what we're doing. That's what he laid on my heart, and that's what I'm going to be obedient with doing. So, again, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified every time we post a video. And until next time, y'all be blessed. I love y'all. Bye.